Have you ever noticed how the most nostalgic generation seems to carry the heaviest emotional weight? People who grew up in the 90s don't just remember their childhood. They cling to it with an intensity that borders on obsession. But psychology reveals something deeper happening here. Something that shaped their minds in ways they're only beginning to understand. Picture this. You're scrolling through social media and see another post about Saturday morning cartoons or dial-up internet sounds. The comments flood with people saying those were the best years of their lives. But here's what strikes you as odd. These same people often struggle with anxiety, perfectionism, and a constant feeling that something essential is missing from their adult lives. This isn't coincidence. This is neuroscience. The 90s generation experienced something unprecedented in human development. Their brains formed during a unique window when technology was emerging but hadn't yet consumed everything. When outdoor play was still the default but educational computer games were revolutionizing learning. When television moved slower but the world was accelerating faster than ever before. During those critical years, from birth to age 8, their neural pathways were being carved by experiences no generation had encountered before. Research shows that during early childhood, the brain forms up to 1 million synapses per second. Every sight, sound, and sensation becomes permanent architecture in the developing mind. But here's what no one anticipated. The 90s created a perfect storm of cognitive development that would leave lasting psychological patterns. Their brains were wired during the last era of genuine boredom, before smartphones eliminated every moment of mental stillness, before streaming services made entertainment infinite, before social media turned childhood into performance. They experienced something psychologists call bounded entertainment experiences. Games with clear beginnings and endings, shows that actually concluded, activities that required patience and problem-solving without instant gratification. This created neural pathways optimized for deep focus, delayed gratification, and internal motivation. Their brains learned to find satisfaction in completion rather than endless stimulation. Meanwhile, they were also the first generation to experience digital learning during critical brain development periods. Educational games like Castle of Dr. Brain didn't just entertain. They literally rewired cognitive circuits for pattern recognition, spatial reasoning, and symbolic thinking. These games required genuine problem solving. Getting stuck meant struggling, thinking, failing, and eventually succeeding through pure mental effort. But there's a darker element to this story. The 90s were also the decade when environmental anxiety first penetrated children's consciousness. Shows like Captain Planet introduced concepts of planetary destruction to developing minds. The population exceeded 6 billion. Ecological disasters dominated headlines. For the first time in human history, children were growing up with existential dread about the planet's survival woven into their entertainment and education. This created what psychologists now recognize as a unique form of cognitive dissonance. Their brains were simultaneously developing optimism through bounded play experiences and pessimism through environmental awareness. They learned to find joy in small moments while carrying unconscious anxiety about larger systems failing. The result is a generation whose neural architecture reflects this paradox. They crave simplicity because their brains were wired during the last era when life felt manageable. They feel overwhelmed by modern complexity because their cognitive foundations were built for a different pace of existence. Their nostalgia isn't just memory. It's their brain recognizing that the conditions during their formative years created optimal neural development patterns that no longer exist in the world. This explains why 90s kids often feel like aliens in modern society. Their brains literally developed under different rules. They expect depth but encounter surface-level interactions. They anticipate completion but find endless scrolling. They seek authentic connection but navigate performative digital relationships. You've just seen the mechanism. The next move is yours. You don't need to shout to be understood. You just need the right space to think clearly. That's what rational depth is. A quiet corner of the internet for intelligent minds. If you felt something here, subscribe. Quietly, thoughtfully,